Hello, everyone, to no one who is listening, probably, because we're right here in the moment right now, and we're not making sense, but this is the start of our podcast. We've already made one. That one was a failure. So now we're making a new first.
Podcast.
First.
This is our first podcast. Relative insanity.
Being very formal.
Maybe he's just the formal one.
You know what? I like you.
You can be the formal guy. I like to be casual.
Okay,
I'm kind of that shoddy guy, you know? I don't know what's gonna happen.
Alright, well, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves.
Okay.
I'm Spencer.
Yeah.
This voice is Spencer, associated with Spencer, so.
I am Pincer.
No.
I'm sorry.
That's Ryan, if you don't know.
And
this other voice over here.
I bet you won't.
Nighthawk.
Okay. That voice over there was that Nighthawk.
See, you started doing it too.
Nighthawk, aka Colton. So.
So, I guess I'll just intersect here.
Okay, go ahead.
Just to start us off.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just finished watching the movie Ex Machina. And then,
Spencer's favorite movie as of right now.
okay,
Yes.
one of his top movies.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
is like the
Ex
one of the best
Machina,
movies.
Ex Machina, we don't know what it's called. But
I highly encourage you to
Machine.
watch.
You know.
This movie is like a work of art, and it discusses the topic of AI throughout the movie. And okay, yeah, AI is artificial intelligence, which is when a robot is basically self-conscious. So a robot knows that it exists, or a machine or a computer knows that it exists.
Clarification, because some people are dumb, like me sometimes, and don't know what's happening.
well, why are they on the podcast section?
That's right, dude.
What? You trying to point me out?
Just want to present a question.
Okay.
Just put it out there. In the
Okay,
open.
go ahead. It should be.
Is an AI, so say like, without like spoiling a movie, you know?
Sure.
If an AI, is it possible for an AI to like outdo its maker?
Oh yeah.
Is that the point?
In what way?
Is that what makes it scary?
Like just to be
That's
better,
exactly what makes it scary.
like more advanced than a human.
Yes, when an AI is programmed so well that it becomes precise to a point of no, you know,
It's
nothing
perfection.
yes, nothing happens.
No flaws.
No flaws. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what's scary about it.
Well, you see people that like want the movement of AI, artificial intelligence, to stop, and they are anti-artificial intelligence. They say that one day, if artificial intelligence becomes a real thing, one day humans or artificial intelligence will look back on humans like.
Well, why do you think we want artificial intelligence so much? We want it because we want them to perfect what we can't.
Yeah.
But they lack the perfection of being human, which is also
So you have artificial
like
intelligence that can't be
contradicting.
Also, where we are right now, we don't have like, still haven't created a.
This is all theoretical. I mean, technically.
It's also
Yeah.
important to note. But I mean, it's not like it's not, you know, it would never happen. I feel like it would happen eventually if the right people were
Oh,
behind
I think for like a fully developed, self-conscious, human-made machine to be human we're not gonna live to see that.
I don't even think you can never make a machine human.
I don't think you can ever make.
You can make a machine with human-like qualities, but it'll never truly be human.
How do you program human feeling into a machine?
I don't think you can.
Or true human emotion?
I think they can imitate it, and they can be super close to like where it's studied ours.
Still has to come from somewhere, you know?
Right.
It still has to be whatever the maker decides to make it, not just from like a sense of pure just nothingness, you know? Because you have to be given knowledge.
Well, we don't even understand ourselves. Like honestly, people don't
They don't
understand why
understand the
we
brain.
do things. We don't understand the brain or anything, so we can't even develop such things. We can try right now, but it won't get us anywhere without knowing ourselves, like the biological standpoint of ourselves.
Are you with the AI movement? Anyone?
Like, what do you mean by?
Would you do you agree with progressing in the movement of making a being like that? Would it be positive?
I would honestly be scared.
Be scared.
I think as long as the human, the maker of AI, controls it enough to where it cannot overcome the human.
But I feel like that's the point of having an AI.
The thing is,
control.
you're trying to make a human out of machine, and the human itself, us making it, is going out of our own control. So it's contradicting, because you're trying to make a human being, and human beings forever don't want to be controlled. So if you make someone who doesn't want to be controlled, but purposely trying to control it, you're just falling back to all of our history where we obviously don't want to be controlled completely.
So what is the benefit? Just having someone
having
do whatever? Like, maybe it could write programs, or it could build.
There are so many
anything.
scenarios where if we had artificial intelligence, it would, like, the perfect artificial intelligence we're thinking about. Then yeah.
Well, let me say this, is that, let me give you a scenario. You're at war with a country, and you deploy, quote unquote, AI robots to fight the war, so your humans won't die. And that makes logical sense, to like make robots to fight the war for you. But when they bust into a house and they see
women and children,
and they see someone with a gun to their head,
they can't make a moral obligation
of life and death. Like, how do they know truly what life and death is?
I feel like if you would hit that point, you'd have to make something that would just only know destruction, you know? And I still don't think it would be possible.
I think you could make like human controlled AI, or not even, it wouldn't be AI at that point, obviously.
I think that honestly it'll get to a point in the future where we can buy, a robot that's like $10,000 or something, like the price of a car, and it will help us in our everyday lives. It'll clean the entire house, it can drive us to work.
Oh, sure.
And it can mow the grass and go buy our groceries. But
I don't like the idea of that.
the turning point, that's like, that kind of dehumanizes human life, And then what would we do with our life?
Well, you may like it right now, but then, like, as a society, it would corrupt us entirely.
And then you climb up the mountain to that point where you're like, okay.
Then at that point, production is fully reliant on robots, not ourselves.
What do you live for?
What do I live for?
Yeah, what is the...
Obviously, I live for my own enjoyment.
Yes, but so if you had a robot to do everything for you that wasn't enjoyable?
Then all you could do is enjoy, and then you would have to come up with new things to enjoy.
Okay, but why do people with as much money as they want still have sad lives then? If they can have the resources for their own pure enjoyment, they have no purpose.
Like, some of these people are just, they have
purposes.
Unlimited money. Not unlimited, but
they can
buy anything.
They have unlimited money in the sense that they will never use up all their money in their lifespan.
Yeah,
it's impossible. And a lot of them
possible. You can buy companies.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's not impossible.
But then you buy companies to make more money, and then.
But then at that point, if you buy other companies, then that you have to do the work for those companies then too. So that's not for your enjoyment.
Hire employees and stuff.
Unless, of course, that you just
And in the case of Elon Musk,
was that SpaceX?
Yeah, like a billionaire or whatever,
Yeah.
or a multi-millionaire at least. And he founded SpaceX, and he has all this money, but he's trying to secure our future generations by going to Mars and other planets to try to colonize them and make that another opportunity in case something happened on Earth that we couldn't live here anymore. So it's almost like you try to guarantee.
Do you think that'd be possible to actually colonize an already uninhabitable planet?
I think with enough resources you can.
I think it's fine.
Because like there's this whole thing about, I think I saw this presentation a while back that NASA had, and they were saying, or no, it was Tesla's presentation, or
I
SpaceX.
probably should have worded that better. I think it's possible in the future, but what do you think it's possible now?
Yeah, I think that a company always has a budget.
I just don't think there's a need for it right now.
Well, no,
That's
it's not.
why, and that's why
Well, there's no need for it right now, but people would still like prep. I guess just prepare.
Yeah.
Prepare for it. So.
And then SpaceX is their plan allegedly is to make Mars have an atmosphere like Earth's again. So like by what's it called, bioterrain modification or something. Like they start to plant trees, and once you plant enough trees, then they can supply their.
What is Mars' atmosphere? Is it Mars or Venus's atmosphere that is extremely immense in the carbon?
That's Venus.
Venus's has tons of carbon dioxide, and that's why
the pressure is so hard that you can't even go to the surface.
That's why it's so hot, is because it's carbon dioxide. Same with like the greenhouse effect, or why we're losing, or global warming is that we're pumping a lot more carbon dioxide.
I think definitely in our lifetimes we'll see someone land on Mars, and there'll be like a station on Mars or something.
For sure. I think it's possible. It all depends on like funding too.
Yeah.
Because right now the government doesn't really want to fund much of any scientific advances whatsoever.
We don't see a need for it in the now.
No. Because right now we already have too many problems.
Yeah. I mean, most of your stuff, especially space stuff, is either private, like SpaceX, privately owned, or overseas.
Because the government doesn't want to spend money.
They'll
prioritize it. And
I mean, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing.
Well, people when they see it, like think about that, they're like, oh, why does the United States do that, and like all other countries? We have like much bigger problems than most countries. Like in Germany,
social issues.
Yeah, social issues. Germany is a very small country. It's like maybe like 3 states.
Yeah.
Like 3 moderate states of ours combined, or something like that. So it doesn't have that much problems because it's a superpower, but it's not like we're
country,
an extremely major power, and we have the biggest not the biggest population, obviously China has, but also they still have scientific advances too.
They do. Now I think
they're
about
commies,
going back to
we don't talk about
going back to the artificial intelligence thing. What if maybe it might become too much of a risk to go into space, like humans to go into space? Like it's too much of a risk. Like you're basically sacrificing your life if you want to go to Mars, type of thing. So if they were able to build more intelligent robots to go and prepare Mars to be colonized and make it more.
I think our own human ambitions are too much that it's inhuman. Because we just want that feeling of like humans doing that instead of someone like or a robot taking that place.
Or like it being like remotely controlled.
I mean, obviously, like we've already sent the drones, or not the drones,
the rovers.
That there, but I mean, like,
I was saying like if a robot landed on Mars and then started preparing like a building or a facility that the humans could live in, like a biome.
Yeah, I guess that would have to happen actually, yeah, if we wanted to.
Also, so like, this is kind of related, but kind of not.
Okay.
You know how like every planet has its own rotation around the sun?
Yeah, like orbit.
Like orbit around the sun. Wouldn't the only time it would make sense to travel to Mars is when Earth is closest to Mars?
Yeah.
What's the span of like the full rotation to where it gets back to Earth. Well,
How long does it take for?
have you ever played around with the solar system thing on your watch?
I didn't think about that.
I just did that. It's like a year or like a year and a half.
Like right now at this moment.
No, I scrolled. In 274 days, they will be linked up. And then
From this moment right now.
yeah, and then 2 years from this moment right now, they'll be full back around.
It takes 687 days for Mars to orbit the sun. So that'd be about 2 years.
About 2 years.
But that's only like after we're.
And then it has to take a little bit longer to like hit where Earth would be.
So yeah, we would have to go ahead of time before it reached the closest alignment.
I'm sure it stays there for a long time, like aligned, but just like.
Oh, it takes about 4 years, or not that. I don't.
Yeah, so I'm like, how long would it? What is the time differential
take to get to Mars?
Yeah, with whatever technology is available now. The biggest thing now is probably resources.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Because we're running out of resources. I mean, we're not, but
using resources to get to Mars
it's
it's
not in our value
like
anymore.
doesn't make sense.
One company doesn't have enough resources to make that happen, a lot.
I think the biggest thing is if we get rid of that's why I'm like super happy about this idea of the EM drive, because then if we were to be able to integrate that into
cars or
and just travel it would take away the whole idea of fossil
like that whole thing you can get from the east coast of the United States to the west coast in like 48 minutes.
Well, what about this?
Or something like that.
If they say like years, well actually you can go on because this is kind of a segue.
Okay, well it takes with an EM drive they estimated without the sheer amount of weight of fuel involved, it takes normally 3 days to get to the moon. With the EM drive, it takes 3 hours. It takes 6 months, it says, to get to Mars. And with the EM drive, I think it takes like maybe a week.
Yeah, not that long at all.
So like, if the EM drive gets say like hundreds of years in the future, EM drive gets implemented into cars. Where do all your
cars with the fossil fuels?
Where do all your manufacturing and fossil fuel jobs go?
They go out.
You have all unemployment.
It's a lot of details into the thing. Well, the thing is, first of all, if we were even to make it work completely, still don't know the side effects of it. Still don't know why it is.
Is it expensive?
Taking that into account, I don't know about that actually.
Yeah.
I feel like
well, all they have an experimental model. So
I don't think it would be that expensive since it's just using microwaves, and heck, that's why we call it the microwave. We're sending microwaves through that, so obviously
it's also controlled. But we put it in our bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's whatever. Yeah.
Radiation goes back to that.
Radiation.
That's why people
it would
develop
just be
cancer
in the air,
And you know that it takes like
it wouldn't be in the air. Well, actually,
it would just be exposed more. It would just be there.
Yeah, it would be a lot more exposed, and also the fact is that people don't realize unless we've studied physics a little bit, not enough to be masters of it, of course, but we know that there are tons of different types of waves that are currently flowing through us. Radio waves, they don't
it takes like 20 minutes to communicate. Like if you're halfway between Earth and Mars, it'll take 20 to 30 minutes for the signal to get back to Earth if you're trying to communicate something.
Right. Well,
or something like that, yeah.
Like radio waves don't have a specific direction they're going. They're sending them everywhere. So every radio wave that's being transmitted out is already going through our bodies and stuff. So the idea I would think about it was how far microwaves would reach and if they would enter our system.
Radio waves are a type of light, right?
Yeah. So what are microwaves? Okay, I can't remember if they're those are light. That's light too.
Yeah, it's just.
So would the use of that be more fatal and causes? But we already have microwaves though, so that wouldn't.
And think that we're communicating with by radio waves. That's light. That's the fastest thing. That's the speed limit of the universe as we know it. But so we can't really go any faster than the speed of light. So we're limited to that
Oh yeah.
in the future if we ever get there.
Well, there was that video about the
What
speed
blocks
limit
you?
of light has increased.
I
What
don't know.
blocks
They
you?
don't know. They just say that they can't get anything physically to go faster than the speed of light.
So they don't know what block like.
Well,
like
the only thing that keeps us from going past speed of light is matter. Because we're matter.
Yeah, and that was the whole thing. I had a conversation with our physics teacher about that. How would you to accelerate to the speed of light for a human to get in a spaceship and accelerate to the speed of light? It would kill you. It would kill you eventually because of the G-force. But he said that you would have to have like an anti-gravity gun, so to speak, in front of you, so your body wouldn't resist the acceleration. So that's what he said. So, and that kind of makes sense that you would have to have an opposing.
Oh, so you're saying
You'd have to have this force that was strong enough to overcome all of the other forces, so your body wouldn't experience it when you're up to the speed of light. But they can do that.
of course, going past a certain G-force would completely obliterate you.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, though.
So how do you eliminate G-force, and how do you eliminate that? We'd have to have something that would emit a force
to
protect you.
Go against that. So like a force field.
Yeah, I
guess so.
And the whole about moving through space. On Star Trek, they had the warp drive, which it warped space, so it could move through space. So basically, they took the space. So if I took the space in front of me and then put it behind me, then I would propel myself forward. That was the concept of that. That's interesting. And I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
I want to go back to the AI thing real quick.
Yeah.
So like we mentioned, like AI could be used for mechanically wise, could be used to make things, and then for combat, because then we wouldn't have to think about losing our human lives, but it would also go against moral values of who to kill and what to do. One thing though, I could understand why we would want to make AI human is for social interaction with people in general, because we have a lot of cases where people are lonely and then they don't have anything, they don't have a lot of value, they
Someone
feel
to
like
talk to.
they don't have that emotional connection based on whatever life situations. So if we were to make that, it could lessen suicide in a way, or it could just be a general sense of happiness. I mean, like nursery homes, hospitals, mental conditions.
And then you think about if the AI replaces all of these jobs, then so you always have like machines replacing humans. So like when you get to a point to where you've replaced like over half of the jobs with machines, then people start have to relearning different things. Like they might have to relearn how to program or fix a robot instead of having to do the jobs.
What about creative jobs? Do you think robots would ever take over in the form of like advancement?
They might be able
Depends on
to,
the
but I don't
creativity.
think that humans would allow that.
Depends on creativity.
What if like this
Being-
is really
okay.
weird, but like
Okay, go ahead.
what if like robots like had a sense of creating like culture through like music
that would
and
be
stuff?
human. That would become human though. I mean,
Define human though.
we can't define human.
Okay, then how are you gonna use it?
We actually have already, like, through our theoretical perspectives of AI, we've already given them a culture in a way. We already think that they're not going to have any like social interaction, which is plausible. Okay. 2, we always assume that they're going to be against us.
Not me.
Not you? I mean, that's just the culture we already give them.
Well, yeah.
Is that they're going to go against us and they're going to defeat us. Which,
I like to go
which
against.
makes
I like to
sense.
go against the norm. It's me. It's not. It's not a normal thing.
what's normal? What?
I'm saying I like to go against the norm.
I think
I understand.
the only bad part about creating AI is if the human makes a mistake in the creation of the AI. Because if they make it too self-conscious, then that would be a bad thing. Because eventually,
Or a really good thing.
But it could like realize its situation, you know.
I mean, putting
As soon as-
ourselves as a human perspective into an AI, because we want to be human. Being human and in that position, obviously they would get scared, pressured, stressed, and want to get free.
Yeah, overall they want freedom, and as soon as someone wants freedom, it's not gonna work like you intended.
You have no control.
if you're AI, then
That's
you
will.
realize that someone
that's-
always has the ability to turn you off and
Yeah.
like shut you down.
The only reason we can't have monarchies or
Self-consciousness.
people controlling others, or reason why I have war is because we have will.
And then when you think the only reason why like some of these places like they do have like and in history have a dictatorship where like one ruler is because of power.
Right.
If humans attain power over robots or AI, then it shouldn't be a problem if they attain so much power. But as soon as humans start to lose power, then that's where resistance starts, and then humans and robots might switch roles. That was that was deep.
Well, that goes back into why we don't want to make it.
Yeah, like what happens if, and this is all like super,
Theoretical.
yeah,
Conceptual.
They're
Yeah.
super future, super
Super future.
super probably not gonna
happen
yeah.
anyway.
It's fun to think about. There's too many pros and cons, and that's why it makes it such a.
And the pros and cons you have carry so much weight. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess just keep doing what you're doing.
I think we can make it, but we wouldn't want them to replace their jobs. It would have to be like really
I feel like that's already happening.
thoroughly judged
Mm-hmm.
on what. Yeah, it's already happening.
Yeah, just be
is the thing.
controversial, like
Well, think about it.
continuing.
Think about like this is my phone, like I own this, but if my phone gets smarter
Oh,
than
yeah,
me,
well,
then
now-
it can own me.
Even with that, I mean, think about it. We don't need postal services anymore. Unless you want to ship an actual item, obviously.
Like, because I mean, online shopping is kind of
Yeah.
a thing, but I mean, whatever.
It's
Continue.
That's the only use for it, to be honest. Though.
You don't send mail?
No.
Loser.
I mean, taxes. You have to send those through. No.
I feel like one day it won't be though.
No, probably not.
Anyways.
When you think
No.
about it, if you give everybody $1 million,
No.
Then-
Why?
think about it.
I feel like this topic is like.
What in the heck's going on now?
No, when you
Alright,
think about
You
it,
said if you give everyone
if you give
$1 million,
everyone on Earth,
then there would be
instantly gets,
no problems whatsoever. with
no,
anything.
The $1 million
Besides
would
I'm
become
saying
zero.
nothing would change.
Oh,
Yes,
that's true.
Yeah.
If everybody had $1 million, nothing would change.
Yeah.
Well,
Because everyone
you get what I'm
has
saying?
Well, if we're being realistic about it, if you gave everyone $1 million, the immediate,
the initial is what matters.
the initial would make everything great. But
Every-
then later, everything would go in chaos.
Think about
Every
this.
single item just has $1 million
Think
added
about
on
this.
to it.
Everyone gets
Yeah, that's
everyone
true.
gets $1 million. You're like, okay, I want to buy a new house. Go to buy a new house. Wait, this house is no longer 300,000. It's like 1,000,000.
1.3 million.
Yeah,
Because
You know what I'm saying?
everyone wants a slice of your free million, you know?
and everybody has $1 million, so nothing really truly changes.
No.
It's just like everyone having zero.
Except
And
for
you
other
can-
foreign countries.
True.
Yeah, I
It
don't
would,
know.
It would change drastically.
I was gonna
for them.
relate that to this top like AI, but don't
And I
know
mean,
how was gonna do that.
Technically, the government would need gold to back that million up, but they don't go off the gold standard anymore, so we don't need to get into that. 'Cause it
So
becomes-
specific.
Wow, that was such a
What?
political controversy back
Yeah.
in the not even that 1850s.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get into the gold standard.
What are you, a paperback? Was that what they called them? People who wanted a gold currency would call the people who wanted paperbacks.
I still think it's.
You still think it should be gold coin?
Well,
Yeah,
I
that makes
just-
sense because
I just still.
I think that's an awful idea.
Because, okay, you're.
Listen to this. Alright, you started it. You're gonna hit a point, okay? Money is slowly becoming electronic.
Mhm.
You know, paper money is slowly like there's not really a need for it because every transaction is done electronically. As soon as you hit as soon as money becomes fully electronic, there's no physical thing to like make money real. You know, there's like as soon as it just becomes a number instead of like a physical item, there's no consistency of money between like the world.
Okay, but isn't that,
That makes so
everything
much
else
sense,
that's
though.
already making it
Like-
electronic?
Oh, dude.
There's so many things that are already being made electronic, and we already integrate that into our lives as if nothing's happening.
If it's
so
just
it
a
doesn't really
number, what's
affect
the point of having money? It's not even
It's
money.
not, it doesn't carry value.
There's no value. It's just a number.
It doesn't really carry that much. That's basically saying the same concept as paper. Saying that this paper doesn't have a hold of money value, but we still see it as a value. Or playing video games, for crying out loud. Playing video games and having the urge to earn more points.
But that's an enjoyment thing. That's totally different.
We use
Okay.
paper money to buy
Also
physical
true.
things.
Yeah, bro. You're not just gonna capture a flag if it gives you 0 points. You know.
Okay.
I mean,
What? That's putting in work then.
I feel like filming podcasts is kind of addicting. It like gives you a vent, you know,
Yeah.
for like ideas that, you know.
It's
Just
thoughts.
ideas in general.
This concludes the first
Yeah.
installment of Relative Insanity.
We'll see you in the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Word.
Okay.
Uh,
Word up. And we're just good.
And we're